Hey everybody, it's Bust with Battles with Bust number 54. Today we will be playing Draven Sion, or Draven Discard, Midrange Draven, whatever you prefer to call it. They're all essentially the same deck. And so this one, it is in the mid range of things. This isn't a pure aggro deck as we would see out of like a Spiders or that we would see out of a Pirates deck. It does have draws that can come out the gates and really punish your opponents. You know, if you start off on turn one with either a Zonite Urchin or a Poro Cannon, discarding the Fallen Rider, and then playing the big Fallen Rider on turn two, getting this fearsome 4 power attack on the second turn can really close out a ton of games. And so this does have like big draws that'll shut down a game quickly, but the majority of the time these are more involved with like building up a board, setting up turns to where you have like a Fallen Rider and a Draven, and then you play an Arachnoid Sentry or you play a Mystic Shot to take down a piece of your opponent's board, and then you're able to get a bit of width before you get a big game-closing attack in with Scion or with Captain Farron. And so it does have some of those aspects to it. I don't want you to immediately just think it's some kind of face deck, although that it can pull off those draws. But this is actually the kind of aggro deck that I really prefer and really love and enjoy, and that it does have the Scion and the Captain Farron. We will run into the majority of the games with them as to where they just kind of come down on curve and end the game, right? If our opponent's dealing with the board with like Draven and a couple 4 power dudes, and then Scion gets his attack in, the game's probably done. But they do also help us win some games where we don't deserve, or some games where we're pretty far behind. That's the kind of reach aspect I like, as to where with Pirates, you're just kind of like slamming all the dudes in, and then you may get them within decimate range. But sometimes, if you opponent is at like 12, the game's just done and you have no chance to come back. But Captain Farron and Scion both say no, thank you to that. they can crush from a real distance. And so the things that you'll notice in here that you may not see amongst all of the deck lists, we're playing 2 copies of Aloof Travelers. The format has slowed down quite a bit. There's a lot of Jace and Lux, and now a bunch of Mono Viego. A lot of these decks running around with Vengeances and 5 and 6 cost champions. In the event that you get to spike one of those, it's just a humongous advantage to what you're trying to do. And so, especially against a lot of these decks, as to where they're trying to shut down your open attack with a vengeance. If you're dropping the Aloof Travelers on your opponent's turn, very good chance you get a lot of shutdown on their game plan, and then it's still a reasonably interactive combat-y style unit. And so pretty happy with these. Playing a singular copy of the Pharaoh's Fancier. I'm not opposed to adding in more copies. Looking to really fit in a second one, but this is another one of those cards as to where if your curve falls apart in the early game, you're kind of screwed. And while this isn't the most aggressive unit in the game, we would prefer to be playing Boom Baboons and Fallen Riders on the second turn. This guy has a lot of good early, good late values to him. And so he's one of the cards I'm actually looking to add in a second copy of. I haven't entirely decided where I want to make those cuts, but those are the big ones. Otherwise, most people typically play 1 copy of Survival Skills, between 0 and 1 copies of Whirling Death, and same with the Ravenous Flock. These are just the numbers I've kind of settled on, and the Reborn Grenadier can be pretty good in the midst of aggro matchups, allowing us to burst out an additional blocker when our opponent isn't paying attention. But that's the deck. This is what we'll be battling with today. Before we jump in, I did want to mention that Riot just posted the stuff for seasonals, and so there will be the broadcast for seasonals this year. I'm glad to hear that they're doing it. I'm curious what their stance will be on with this in the future. They actually canceled the broadcasts in the past. What I suspect and what I think the people like Riot should be doing, since I'm the all-knowing one, is just kind of pushing this stuff onto the community. And I'm not just saying like they should go to Discord and say, hey, who wants to record some matches and talk on the internet. But if they're not really going to be putting forth the LCS style, super professional setups, then it's probably a lot easier for the community to maintain these things if if Riot just pays someone to do it. And so you're seeing the people like Mastering Runeterra come together with tournament series. I don't know if Giant Slayer is still doing stuff, but there were these other companies trying to put together the kind of competitive scenes. And I think for the most part, this is where Riot should just be like, okay, well, here's some money for support. You handle it. Don't say racist stuff on the stream and call it a day. And so that's what we start to see with Magic as well, right? Wizards had kind of given up on maintaining a lot of the large tournaments in house. They shipped off the Grand Prix circuit to Channel Fireball, and then Star City has, of course, run their own circuits for quite a while. But I think if you're not going to be all in on managing the competitive scene, there's nothing wrong with that. But they should be giving the community the tools to manage that competitive scene professionally. And so we'll see. It just says that it's going to be here. I don't know if they just passed it off to the Mastering Runeterra guys for NA or what they're doing in the other regions, but something will be here. But what this is important for us over the next few days, the Last Chance Gauntlet will be today as you watch this video. So I'm going to run that tomorrow. That's what we'll be recording. And then the Masters Cut is actually on the 12th. The picture here says the 9th, but that's going to be on the 12th. And I'm not wanting to dive like too deeply into the Masters Cut. We might have to make some normal videos over the next few days, but it sounds like people are saying that if you're just hanging out in the upper hundreds or in the 200s in terms of LP, that you'll make that Masters Cut of 700 players. And so I don't think we have to just quit playing Masters, but if we get up over 200 or so, we'll probably just sit on it unless we qualify through the gauntlet. And so we'll see. I had intended on just doing all ranked videos over the next few days, but I didn't realize that this cut was coming up. I thought it was going to be later in the month. And so that is one of the big reasons why we're out here playing Draven Sion today. This is one of the decks that I would like to take into seasonals. I feel like kind of regardless of how the meta shakes out, this is one that we will end up bringing. And so I definitely need to get some more reps in with it. But more importantly than that, I had, since I had decided that this will probably be a seasonals deck, we have to be on point with our pay-to-win fees if we ever want to have any success. I noticed that the Ravenous Flock is not premium yet, but I figured this is as good a time as any to come in, pick up the pool party Draven, take this bro right into battle. And so this is like so crazy, right? Look how much fun he's having. This is a good time. He's having headlocks and smiles with the people at the pool. Fucking top-notch work on this skin. Look at the Ruined one, though. That's so sad. So sad. Look at this. It's all dark, and I don't know, man. It looks like he's possessed and stuff. That's kind of scary to me. So not happy with that one. Super happy that we picked up the pool party, and we are now ready for battle. Let me make sure we've got these skins actually loaded up. There we go. Got it equipped. Ooh, there's a Scion as well. World Breaker is kind of a scary one as well. I like my stuff to be lighthearted and happy. But we'll see. Not versus the AI. What are we doing? First player, Draven time ranked. Off we go. And so yeah, like we can still jump into the Masters queue. This is one of these places where it would be convenient if I had a Smurf account or if I had an account on another region. I might have to start putting a touch of work into leveling up on EU or something. Just so that we have that extra account to play around with. But here, nonetheless, round one up against Mono Vigio. I just want the aggressive units that we can pull off here. And so get rid of the Mystic Shot and the Sentry. Really looking for a turn 2 curve if we can find something. Look at that guy. It looks so choice. So shiny. And the border matches nicely with his towel. Shit's pretty good. I'm going to discard Draven here. Again, I want to find something cheaper. We might find ourselves cycling again on turn 4 with the Urchin. And so I think we're okay to discard him. The Pharaoh's Fancier is not our ideal turn 2 play. But like we were saying, this is way better than not having a turn 2 play, getting this guy down. Lots of Poro Cannons. All right, strength and numbers should be pretty decent here. This isn't a deck where we're super interested in Shock Blast. We're not going to be playing the control deck angle. All right, well, should be a pretty safe turn for Draven. These decks tend to not play removal. And so with the Mono Vigio ones, there's usually a little bit of room, but it's kind of like in place of playing champions, they're playing playing Invasive Hydrovines. And so it's like you might see Vile Feasts, you might see 1 or 2 Vengeances, but you don't usually see tons of removal otherwise. Might be able to spike a Vigio with this Aloof Travelers. Let's see, I'm kind of interested in dropping it. Especially now that he's not playing cards. Popped a Vigio, nice. Oh, and just actual nothing to do. Feels bad, man. Feels bad. We can churn out a bunch of stuff here. I don't want to get the Twin Blade Revenant down. It's too slow. We can go with the Baboon. We can then burst down a Flame Chompers. We can stun something, and then we should be pretty well lined up to just chunk in 1,000,000 damage through here. Okay. Let's get these damages in. This is like a fairly tempting spot to just double Spinning Axe Draven so that we can get him to flip. But I'm more interested in just taking down this Spiderling, I believe. We'll get the 1 in. Flame Chompers can go. Now we can discard the Lost Soul. It'll come right back to our hand. Get the Spiderling off the board. Chunk in for 9. Not that bad. This is one of these spots to where the Poros start to become slightly relevant as well, and that not going to have a blocker for him. He can play Quicksands on him, but they're usually not interested in stopping that 1 point of damage. Splinter Soul. Oh, snap. What is this guy about? He's just going to, like, turbocharge this flip? I guess if he kills a unit, he'll get double Ephemerals? Huh. I'm not entirely sure what this guy's angle is. Uh-oh, more Splinter Souls. Okay. And now what? He can, like, kill one of these things, get a bunch of Encroaching Mists? I don't think it matters. He's only got 1 mana left. He can play a... the thing that lets you sacrifice an ally to draw a champion. That'll get him 2, but that feels really awkward with him adding the Aristocrat now. Okay, so he misses out on 1 of the Encroaching Mists. Gonna try and, like, combo kill us? Sure. So I just want to make sure we don't fall below the Vigio atrocity range, right? So we have to get some amount of blocks in here. This one's fine onto him. The Flame Chompers is something I'm not, like, excited to lose, but looks like we only need to make 1 more block. Send our smallest unit in. So we fall to 11. We can replay a dude if we want. Let's say we can get the Poro Cannon down. He's going to have 1 blocker, goes in on Draven. He's looking to take 6, 7 or so. Maybe we get him with Get Excited. This one's going to be close. Okay. I think I want to discard the Strength in Numbers. I don't think we'll ever have the time to use this. I guess the Fallen Rider's a free discard, but we're not like... The biggest disaster would be we go into next turn and he starts just dropping the Ephemerals on the board and getting wider blocks than we can deal with. I'm not messing with that. And we're going to make Vigio block, right? So I'm going to take the Flame Chompers, hook the Spiderling. And so if he wants to stop the most damage, that's going to be putting Vigio in front of the Twin Blade Revenant, and then we can realistically just kill him if we need to. Oop, not you. Nope. Yep. Get a quicksand. A little unfortunate, but not the end of the world. Bile Feast. Oh, that's not bad. It's tough. It's like it's like we have the Get Excited. He shouldn't be like on the market for more drains. Like, very real chance that he has a Rite of Negation, but I don't think we have to worry about an additional Vile Feast coming out. He's already played 2. Here goes his chance to play Rite of Negation, so let's just go ahead and go face. GG. Market a W. Thanks, Vigio. Appreciate it. It's that pool party skin. We currently have a 100% win rate with the pool party Draven skin. So just take note. Put it in your brain piece and put it in your mental diary and stuff. Man, I remember watching people play Draven in League. That looked miserable. It's just like, I don't know, just sitting around catching axes all day. It's like you're playing 3 games all at once. That does not look appealing. Like, I can admire the craftsmanship to a degree, as to where, like, the players that are truly capable of top tier Draven play are just kind of next level. And I think that is one of the things that it really kind of messes with balancing things, right? If you're random dude in silver trying to play Draven and catch all the spinning axes while you lane and everything, like this is kind of like whatever. You're probably not going to be that good. But then you take that champion that really scales up with that and put it on, a professional caliber bottom laner. It's quite incredible what can be done there. But with this, I'm leaning towards the Progress Day. It's slightly awkward against Caitlyn, but it does help us if we're going to be like switching into the Burn plan in the later game. It's just like Shock Blasts are like not super necessary, and then it's like the best it's going to be doing is like 3 damage to face. So I think we can let it go. Here with this turn, I don't want to just run out the Draven. It's like he hasn't Mystic Shot us yet, but Mystic Shot would be the kind of common answer to what we have going on here. So we'll give him a turn in the hand before we try and take that down. But looks okay. Can't quite do everything we need to this turn. We'd like to have the Whirling Death coming out of the Dravens, but we're going to be a little bit too slow for that angle now. 1 mana short of doing it. So let's get another... Well, we don't need the Dredger. Let's get the Baboon on board. Is that where we want to be? Then we'll have Whirling Death mana next turn. Didn't find a cheaper play, though. It's a bit unfortunate. We could technically dig for it, right? We could play the Sump Dredger, but then we just can't play the Draven either way. A little unfortunate how that came together. I mean, we can you can always just play the Flame Chompers, but I don't think that's going to be our angle today. Thorn of the Rose. Interesting. See these on occasion. The format is getting a lot taller now, and so it's not completely crazy seeing things like this come on board. Uh-oh. Alright. We survived the flashbang trap. So many Dravens. Okay. awkward. I mean, it's not. It's just this sucks if he like passes. I think it's a little sketchy to let that just happen. But all right, well, let's see what you can do, dude. He's in kind of a dangerous spot here. Not a ton of health hanging out on our Draven. Well, survival skills changes all of that. So let's just go ahead and ensure his survival. Can't play the Revenant first, right? If you play the Revenant, it's going to be our strongest unit and the survival skills won't work. But now we can still get his dudes into combat. We can force the Caitlyn over. So like we're at risk of a we're at risk of a burn spell here. It would have been much stronger had we been able to come in with Draven, right? If we have this unkillable Draven and we get to hook one unit in to force the combat, like they just don't have any ways to get out of this whirling death. But he survived it. That was an odd whispered words. He's losing on board here now. About to drop all the captains. Thought he said, "I'll break the seal." Sorry, bros. I gotta take a leak. I gotta break the seal. All right. It looks like there's about to be an incoming scorched earth. Ooh, a Tri-beam. Damn, a Tri-beam for 7? Jeez, dude. That's a big ass dragon. Well, ideally here we'll be able to win the game with 4 decimates before he's able to get that stuff going. Just aces our Draven? Fuck. Okay. Okay. Another 7 damage Pro-beam? Oh my god. Okay. Insane. Yep. So this is problematic. Like we can deal with these shitty units like the Feyfolk, but we're gonna have to like actually drop dudes on the board. Insane. So, I mean, we have 13. Hopefully Draven's enough. If he has a burn spell, then we have to like stop playing. We can't like we really need to be playing 2 decimates this turn, 2 decimates next turn. Oh boy. Okay. All right. Well, that's a way to have a game go. I mean, it's a little tough for us in terms of, it's like you have the Tri-beam in your hand and it's a dead card for so long, and for him to still manage that game, like basically having 2 dead cards in your hand the whole time, it's pretty tough. But damn. All right. So what are we doing here, though? Let's get rid of the Sion and the Mystic Shot. It's weird seeing Braum inside of Action Udyr, but I guess the times are a-changing. Let's try and get on our cycling discard plan, though. I can see arguments for discarding the Sump Dredger, but I think he'll be okay here. Alright, we're a long way away from that survival skills being relevant, and so we'll just go ahead and cycle it out and look for more appropriate cards. I want to hang on to the Arachnoid Sentry. It should be pretty good against Udyr. Now, if he plays action, it's okay. Not worried about losing that combat. What up, Captain Farron?
Good people don't look the other way.
Okay, well, I'm gonna put down the unit bigger than the action. It's like we never block, right? It's just it's too scary trying to get in front of him. But he's much worse on the defensive.
Stands beneath me and wins behind me.
Okay, we'll take the trades wherever they can come about. Like if he spends his Shaped Stone onto action to block the Zonite Urchin, that's okay. He does, he is struggling a little bit to spend his mana here. But this is the big thing is, of course, attacking him when he doesn't have his quick attack. That's expensive. Sure. Got it. So we'll see what happens. Like, it's not the best spot to just be like tapping out for Udyr, but if he taps out for Udyr here, we can completely take control of this board. Like that feels pretty good. Between the Stun Spider to Udyr and the Mystic Shot into action. It's not the way he's taking it. Okay. Get my premier blockers on board. Sure. So how does this end up going? He's going to get a free hook into the Flame Chompers, which is fine. Let's just add another. Let's add another daring to the board to shut down the Flame Seeker, and then I'm looking to Mystic Shot something. Would we rather just go for the safer get excited? It's a disaster if we Mystic Shot and his unit survives. You seen either Lost Soul? He's seen the one on the right. Waking Sands, Waking Sands. Okay. Wouldn't be surprised to see him start playing them this turn, but that feels like a win if that's the way he's going about it. We'll get the Revenant on board. See if we can't fetch out a Waking Sands. Probably just coming in with our two smaller units this turn, though. Do have this nice Mystic Shot. Man, I don't like it. It's a little too easy to take advantage of. All right, get them big damages in. Get you for one. He's scared. You can tell he's scared of these things. He says, no blocks for me. Okay. Shape Stone to get the relic, that's fine. We're a little short of getting the... No, we're not. Udyr has... Or the Sion already has 6 attack.
Would you look at this place?
Alright. You're free to hook, my dude. Such scary animations. Maybe if we buy a different Scion skin, we won't have to watch one that's as scary. I mean, I guess having the demon furnace in your stomach doesn't really it doesn't really promote not scary, but I'll worry about things sometimes. Okay, he takes the rally now. Interesting. So do we just want to empty out this board? We're going to get the rally. We get to come in and attack for 9, and then try and drop Captain Farron next turn. I mean, I think that's okay. We just need to do some not dying. I guess he has like 1 card left in hand. His 1 card could be a quicksand, which would be fairly annoying in terms of taking away Scion's overwhelm. But like if we just sit here, prevent damage, assume that we're going to get, you know, a nice healthy chunk of damage in here, then we can probably just win with the decimates. But right, quicksand here would be annoying. He doesn't have it, or he'd be blocking with the wanderer. But a little scary. Get 2 waking sand, 2 waking sands and a stance swap. Sure. Scion part 2. I prefer to play Scion on our opponent's turn, right? It's a little awkward if like he's not going to have a kill spell here, but if we play Scion and he just kills him, like we lose out on the rally. I mean, we do still have that giant unit that gets to attack, but it's always a little bit nicer if you have the rally available. Okay. Three health isn't a good place to be when your opponent has double decimate in hand. Just FYI, it's not good. Noxus. Sure. Load him up. So there is a world where they have the negate. So I was going to say I'm going to try and come in and lead with the spider and then play the decimate later, but we win that game most of the time there. GG, my dude. Have to check on the LPs here before long. It's like it's always unfortunate when this kind of timing comes about. There hasn't ever been a solution to it in making like people not want to stop playing the game. Not in a bad way, right? But in terms of like Magic, there was always like when they had ratings based invites. If you got your MMR, it was a ELO thing then, but everybody calls it MMR now. If you got your MMR up to like 2,000 was usually the cutoff, then you would just quit playing. And you couldn't play anymore because if you lost the matches, and you'd lose your MMR and you'd lose your Pro Tour invite. The same thing happens here in terms of seasonals as to I don't know what the answer is. I wish there was a way that would kind of discourage people from playing on Smurfs. I guess if there was, like a certain LP like floor that you hit or something, then you disqualify for seasonals or something. That might work, but there's pros and cons to every to every system. All right, up against the tokens. They didn't start with a 1-drop, which is kind of nice. Then he just drops a Diaz. Okay, works for me. The MMR does remind me. I got a comment about Bust. You must hate chess. It's not that I hate chess. That the MMR reminds me of that. There's a real ceiling. It's really weird with chess in terms of it's so like absolute that it's basically like a math problem that if like a 2000 MMR dude plays against a 1700 MMR dude, then they just win like X percentage of the time. It's super formulaic in the way that it works there. But the reason that it works is why one of the things that I just don't like about chess, and that there's like two components, right? In most board game / card game world, you have the option of RNG. As an RNG based game, do you have to deal with dice rolling or deck shuffling or things like that? Or on the other side, is there perfect information? And so, can you look at the board and know everything that there is to know about the board, or everything that there is to know about the current state? And so, with Legends of Runeterra, it has both, right? It has RNG. You have cards that generate random things. You have a deck that you shuffle. You shuffle your deck and you draw a random collection of cards. It's got all of those aspects. And then in terms of information, you don't know what's in your opponent's deck list, right? And then you don't know what's in their hand. And so the aspects of this game has both. Whereas at the game like chess, it doesn't have either. It's a game of perfect information, right? You're never playing against unknown chess pieces. You're never playing against like just like an unknown quantity, and then it's also the matter of oh, hang on, this is so stuff's just happening here. I'm getting into chat mode and things were going down. I think we just actually take this hit and then open next turn for a kill. But right, there's perfect information and then there's no RNG. Your knight doesn't move a random direction; he moves in that same L shape every turn. And to me, it's just boring. And so I need the RNGs as much as people bitch about RNG. I think it's a good thing in a lot of circumstances, and then the not having perfect information. And so to me, when you have a game like chess or you have a game like Go, it does just kind of like come down to that super big brain battle. And a lot of people like that, but then on the flip side, it's like boring to me. It's like we're coming up on seasonals, using that kind of aspect. Like whoever is in like the top 10, I would just get annihilated by. But with a little bit of luck and a little bit of high rolling, we can make a real run at the tournament. And you don't have that in chess, or maybe you do, and I just don't understand enough about the game for that to be interesting. And so I'm sure that there are variances to where it's like, the pieces do different things, or you start with rando pieces or whatever. But I'm just not a fan of the games that have both perfect information and have no RNG. But I was trying to like think of that a little bit more this morning. Like you do have games where you have perfect information. The one that was coming to mind for me was like Warhammer. Played a lot of Warhammer growing up. You know the contents of your opponent's units. You can see them all on the board, but there's still like dice rolling, and your artillery like skews off into random directions and stuff. There's definite like aspects to it, even though it is a perfect information game. That you're getting these things to where every game isn't the same. But all right, the battles are happening here. Up against the spiders, it's coming together kind of okay. We've lined up pretty well against what he has. We had a 1-drop, we have 2 drops. We're going to start getting Draven down. I think we might have turned the corner here in this one, but it's always tough to tell. I really don't want to just be like hooking any of this stuff with the Flame Chompers. We're going to get the Flame Chompers down next turn, but I would ideally use the Flame Chompers to kill a Spiderling. And so we want to use a little bit of board control and not just prevent these random little damages. As not playing Darius either. So we're kind of free to just drop the Arachnoid Sentries. We shouldn't have to worry too much about him just throwing down really problematic units. As he brings in the dogs. Sure. All right. Well, you fought valiantly, Draven, but this is this is the time for you to go. We could probably hang on to him. We're not losing out on too much damage this turn. We're only going to take 2. It's probably worth hanging on to Draven in this case. Our life total's very healthy. Okay. We can get 2 dudes down this turn if we want, or we can play the single twin blade. I think I'm cool with the 2 dudes. Let's discard the spinning axe out of this one. Try and keep our card quality high. He no plays. He's probably just scared of the flame chompers. The only combat tricks these people will usually play is you might see Elixir of Wrath, which if he Elixir of Wrath's here, that's pretty good since he's losing out a lot of his aggression. And then you might see things like a Brother's Bond. I'm so tempted to just pick up the Reckoning, but we can't swing it. We'll take the removal spell out of these. Getting pretty close to actually being able to cast Weapons of the Lost with some spell mana. Yeah, I don't like to trash on chess too hard. I feel like in the world of gaming, even if it's a game that you don't like, it's good to see those positive communities out there. And chess is one of those games where it's like everybody knows what it is, right? You tell someone that you play Legends of Runeterra competitively, they say, "What the fuck is that?" For the most part, even if you tell someone that you play like Magic, that Magic is crossed over more and more and more into the mainstream, but still a large portion of the world doesn't know what Magic is. Like I'm almost certain that more people would know what Ticket to Ride is now than know what Magic is. And so, whenever there is, a competitive game that people are playing that isn't baseball or basketball or something, something non-athletic and such, it is kind of nice to give them the support. So, I'll trash on chess to you all, but not to the general public. But okay, let's see how this one goes. We're playing up against spiders again. This one's going to go a little bit worse, right? We don't have nearly as good of a draw. We can get a Poro on the board. I'm trying to think. We probably just discard the Ravenous Flock. He shouldn't have any units that survive combats against us. So I'm ready to come in and shut this down. Block. 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 Nice. We are the control deck in this one, so for the most part, you just want to do whatever you can to prevent as much damage as you can. You run into spots like in that previous game as to where, we didn't give up our Draven when we could have traded him away, but outside of some kind of fringe cases, you usually just shut down anything that they're doing, and then you'll card advantage them out with your stats. A little unfortunate here. I prefer to drop 2 units. We technically get 2 units because we're going to discard a Flame Chompers, but this isn't a super ideal board. Okay. Not that bad. Really just wish we could play 2 dudes. We're getting close to dropping off this Mystic Shot, but
You dropped something. I dropped everything.
all right, a little bit better with the Urchin coming in. Getting rid of Decimate's kind of cool. I like that. Like we're so close to just like making the board not matter anymore. It's nice to get the burn spells out while we can. I assume he's going to open on us here. We'll only take 3 damage with our Mystic Shot. I think we're good. Okay, squad. Discard the Lost Soul, he'll come right back. Picked up a fancier. We are the ones that are about to have the big board. Strength in numbers, that gets us 2 guys. It's like almost tempting to play the Hextech Transmogulator, because like our board's about to be full, but if he gets like, you know, a rando weird combat or something, then we might need to, you know, convert a big guy into a little guy, and especially on these turns to where he's about to just open on us. Having some kind of interactivity on that open would be sweet. Didn't quite get there. Gonna have to be okay. Not going to attack this turn.
We made it.
We're to the space to where... Oh, discarded a Doom Beast. Nice. We're to the space that he's still getting to fill out his board. And I just want to be able to block everything. So we'll just... No, shit. We should have attacked with the Daring Poro, but the same idea still stands. Prevent max damage here. Can't block the 2 fearsomes, but we can stop the other things.
Watch your toes.
Just kill me.
Fall to 8. Those are fearsomes. Can't block a fearsome. Okay. Maybe we should have played the Revenant so we could have blocked his fearsomes. Oh, we could have... This is where we missed out. We had this Reborn Grenadier. We should have got the Grenadier on board. That would have probably just shut down the game. Little whoopsies. That one's on me. I'm just thinking about chess and stuff, and found a new creative ways to talk trash about it.
Smooth as silk.
How far away are you? We need to get old Sion up to 8 more power. It's close. We got 4 from the Revenant. It's pretty tempting to just open and swing with everyone here, but and then refill any of these board spaces. I think that's okay. But yeah, this would look a lot better if we got this Grenadier last turn. We'll see about getting a good block this turn. This seems nice. Let's take away all of his units. Okay. We actually just drop strength in numbers here. Get the 2... These are going to be 3 power guys, so they can at least block all of his fearsomes. I think I'm okay with that. The downside to putting 2 units on the board... well, I think this is okay. It's like if we put... it's like trying to do things with this Grenadier. But we should be fine. We have the space. All right, GG. So yeah, that should have been a little cleaner. That would have felt a lot better if we just had a few more points of health. We were getting up to double decimate range there, but we did it. We survived it at the end of the day. GG. Everybody's out here bringing their spiders, trying to climb up as quick as they can. You say, I gotta get to that seasonals cutoff. Let me just churn through some games. It's tough though. It's weird, like the times when masters are tough. Like right at the beginning of the month is when you'll find people that just try to shoot up to rank 1. You know, if you're just quick about it and ground a bunch of games, you can get there while everybody else is just kind of durdling around. Especially relevant in Runeterra, to where the season should reset right as the new cards come out. And so you have the opportunities to just kind of get there. And so it'll be tough right at the beginning of the month. Your big grinders are there. And then right at the end as well, as people try to finish with that rank 1 spot and make those last climbs. People will play real decks and stuff. So it's a little bit more challenging. But here, this is a not ideal matchup against the ramp deck. We'll try our best. We'll see what happens. But as you can imagine, seeing all of these cards with 2 health against a deck full of avalanches, you run into a bit of struggle. But we're going to come out the gates as fast as we can. Where are you at, 4-2? You're welcome to the board. Wish we could get this other one on the board. This is like one of the openings you get right now. They can play the Avalanche next turn, but they can't play Blighted Ravines, and they really want to be playing ramp cards. And so if you can take that away from them, it's kind of nice. But let's get them. Let's bring them damages. Not bad. Four damage from our 1 drop, 4 damage from our 2 drop. If we can get them down to about like 8, and then having access to like double decimate plus get excited is kind of interesting and nice. But I want to get the Dredger on board. He survives the 2 damage AoEs. Same with the Lost Soul. So what happens if he passes? If he passes, do we just send it back? I didn't do nothing. Interesting. They don't play like Black Spear. I don't think we have to worry about that. Let's just pass and see what happens. Blighted Ravine. So we can't add Dravens. It's tempting to add a Ferris Fancier, but it's like we have the Get Excited in hand. We can probably just bank through. Alright, but we definitely want to play Draven this turn. I want to be able to get the Revenant on board on our opponent's turn. And so if their angle is having, if their angle is having more AoEs, I want to have a free way to discard the Lost Soul so that we can try and get him down. Otherwise, I'm good to throw down Risen Rider here and see what happens. If he just passes it back to us, we probably have to just attack. But we'll see what he does. This would be a great spot for having a great spot for having the likes of survival skills. Okay, get that point of damage in. I like it. Then I'm gonna drop the Fancier with this 2 mana that we have left. He shouldn't have any AoEs this turn, but if something goes wrong, this is the unit I want to be losing. Anything cool? True Shot Barrage is the damage source. I guess that's okay. Can't imagine we're gonna drop Give It Alls in the current situation. He hasn't played any ramp though. That's been kind of our saving grace here. Do we ever just drop the Aloof? I mean, he does survive the Blighted Ravine. I was kind of hoping to just get the Twin Blade Revenant down. See, it's like if he has a Vile Feast onto the Revenant, it really sucks. Alright. I mean, I don't want to play Sion until our opponent's turn. And so it's like we have some options for this turn. He hasn't have 8 mana, so it's a little bit more challenging for him to AoE. I'm going to drop the Travelers. See where that gets us. He discards Feel the Rush. Okay. This might be a positive turn. Has me interested for the old seasonals. It's like, as we see matches like this, I'm not sure. It's like, this is, of course, a bad matchup. The Ezreal Caitlyn's a bad matchup. I'm curious what happens when you play against people that bring both. I don't quite have an answer to that kind of that kind of shenanigan. Okay, like, he's already played 2. That's his second Vile Feast, right? Yeah. Need to get something happening with Daddy Sion here. Alright, I got animations too. So with Sion, we're going to have to open next turn, right? We want to make an open attack, and then we can, if he dies, then we can have good things happen. We get a second attack in. Interesting addition with the Roar of the Slayer. Can't kill the Trundles, but we can kill the Ice Pillars. He's still got a ton of mana. I'm curious what his unit would be here. If he wants to drop a Tryndamere, he costs 8, or if he wants to drop a 3 damage AoE thing. I think we're in a pretty bad spot either way, but rip Sion. Okay. Well, he'll be back and ready to block on the next one. Okay, so we just have to go wide in this space now. It's like, if he plays Tryndamere, that's really good for us. Feel the Rush, not ideal, but we might be able to attack around it. Yeah, this game should just be dunsies. Get on board. Might be able to chunk in like 4 damage. Okay. That's a tough one. And so that's where I'm kind of like unsure. It's like, if we like expect a lot of those kind of shenanigans, which shouldn't be unrealistic, right? You can bring like the triple control deck lineup and then just plan to ban the Sun Disk every time. But when you're on the other end of the spectrum, it's like you kind of have to pick which control deck you don't want to deal with, whether or not that's Ezreal Caitlyn, or if you don't want to deal with the ramp deck. And then once you've decided which one you're just not going to play against, how do you kind of tune up to beat the other control decks? And it's like, I could realistically see like wanting to add in additional survival skills and then just not play things like Reborn Grenadier, and then just have this be a slightly less bad matchup against Ezreal Caitlyn. But I'm not entirely sure there. I'm gonna have to stew on it a little bit more in my brain piece. But we'll see. Because it's just like, before the change to the play cast rule, like you weren't really able to add too many more relevant control decks. Like, you could play Darkness, but it wasn't in the best of spots, or the rest of them were just pretty bad. So, like, now you have to see all of the like the Donger decks and all of the Jace decks and all of the Lux decks and everything running around. Just a lot more problems out there. About 99 of them, if you will. Okay. We'll just let this happen. I don't want to get hit with the Nightfall 1-cost Heavens Align. Is that what it is? I don't really want to see that here. Take another True Shot Barrage. Should be reasonable targets coming out of darkness with the True Shot Barrage. Alright, Draven, let's boom him. I checked if it was time for the main event. It is. Survey says yes, it is time. The main event is ready. Dude knows what's up though. We'll see how much they know about the game. He's the. I was about to talk real good about you, dude. You're coming out here with your premium Dianas, but then you have the non-premium Solari Soldier. Oh, that's kind of embarrassing. Kind of embarrassing. I thought people would be better than this. People. Can't live with them. Can't live without them, am I right? Here's the Daybreak one. It's a little problematic if he has another Nightfall for Diana. Like if he has a Pale Cascade to come in and take down the Draven. Sure. I was really hoping that we'd be able to Arachnoid Sentry plus Ravenous Flock the Diana so we didn't just lose Draven to value blocks, but it's okay. We still have a pretty powerful hand to move along with. I wonder if he's going to have a second Pale Cascade. Interesting. Okay. We'll do it this way. We can drop the Twin Blade Revenant now. We can spend the 4 mana. Then next turn we can do the Rider plus the Sentry plus the Ravenous Flock and see where that gets us. I think we're still on board with this this path. So here's the Rider. We could pivot and just play the 3 1-drops. That does actually kind of interact nicely with Diana in that she doesn't want to really block any of them, and then we can still Ravenous Flock if she does. But maybe, I mean, do we need to be more worried about the Nocturne? It's like, what if he plays Nocturne here? And if you're not familiar, people play the Harrowing these days. I don't feel like it's the most ultra relevant of cards, but it's basically you just play it, you win the game. That's there's nothing too wrong with that. Okay. So we'll take a trade here if he offers it up. If he puts the Cloven Way in front of the Rider, we just win. Here to the left, we can Spinning Axe down the Cloven Way. Okay with all of this. Go ahead and take down the Diana. So I mean, we're still pretty far ahead on board. The classic problem with Nightfall is to activate your abilities. You have to play the multiple cards in the same turn. And so he can be really like hamstrung here in terms of trying to get Nocturnes on the board, get other things like that going. So we might be okay here. Seems pretty reasonable. Got this True Shot Barrage as well.
Each act of heresy is an act of passion.
Go ahead and drop the stun. I don't want him bursting forth an attack.
Awakens the soul. Find your path in the dark and follow no false light.
Anything else?
And the Baboon. Interesting. We just cast True Shot Barrage. We got, what we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, we can play the Baboon. Okay. But we're realistically just going to open here, right? His blocks are garbage. And so let's swing. I assume he's going to try and like win one of these somewhere. But I was expecting he might come and try and take a value block onto the Zonite Urchin. This is okay. Ain't nothing wrong with full clear and a board. And then if we need to, we can still just like Sump Dredge or Lost Soul. Bank 3. Not sure why he's not playing anything. Maybe he just has nothing and that's why he's playing these into Dusks, but... Let's bank. Take it to the bank, my dude. With us drawing the Mystic Shot, it's like a pretty, well, not pretty realistically anymore. It's like with him playing Mystic Shot, we're pretty realistically just gonna try and go for a True Shot Barrage kill, but we have to stop this a little bit. We have blockers for most of it. What we can, let's be real, we can just play Captain Fair in here, right? He's a pretty decent block amongst the shenanigans we're facing. And it gives us a lot of angles to victory next turn, whether or not that's just burning him out or hitting him with the dude-based damage. I think this is all fine. Like, what can they even come at us with? Would be like Doom Beast style cards? I don't think there's really anything else to come in for damage over the top. I guess there's a world where you have to worry about Atrocity, but I can't imagine the Harrowing deck actually playing Atrocities in it. And so, we did it. GG's. Where are we at? Up to Masters 185. And so, yeah, with like Seasonals, you just have to get in the top 700. Where's the leaderboard? We're at 261. And so, like, I don't think you have to worry about it too much, right? I'm pretty sure we can just sit on this until the cutoff on the 12th. But, like, I don't really want to just sit around. Like, on the next 2 days, we'll just play Gauntlet, and that gets us out of that. Maybe in terms of putting together content, maybe I'll just try and get together an additional Gauntlet. But it is Mother's Day weekend here in the States, and so gotta have to do mom stuff. kind of cuts into the making videos time, but we'll see. We'll come up with something to do until then. I feel like on the flip side of the coin, if we can't just keep grinding and stay in the top 700 anyways, like you don't have any business in playing in the event. And so realistically, we'll just come out here and keep playing games. I don't feel like we're going to drop too low in the LPs, as long as we're not just playing like Sombrero deck. And so I think we should be safe and fine. Who knows? I'll have videos for you. Don't worry about it. But nonetheless, that is going to do it for us today. Hope everyone enjoyed the battles. You maybe learned how to hit the pool with your Draven. Maybe learned a thing or two along the way. Had a good time watching. This is Bust and me. Thank you for being here.